Question number 1 says, which of the following models is shaded to show 1 and 7/8, or 1 and 7 out of 8? All we have to do is match this mixed number to one of our models. Since they're not asking about the decimals, I'm not even going to bother writing my decimals. All I'm going to do is next to the models, I'm going to write down my fraction, or in this case, my mixed number. They don't want an improper fraction, so I want to make sure it's a regular fraction. Start with the first one, model A. If I wrote model A as a fraction, what fraction would model A be? Jada, what would the fraction be that would match model A? What fraction would match it? Okay, almost, Jada. Your denominator is how many pieces are in that model. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 is my denominator. That's how many pieces they cut the model into. And then 7 would be my numerator, because that's how many pieces I have. It's okay. If I had 8/7, that would be an improper fraction, but they want a mixed number. 7 pieces out of how many? Out of 8 pieces that model has. Okay, if I look at my fraction and I compare it to the mixed number they have, I can see I'm close, but what is it missing? What's missing from this fraction and this mixed number? Kaylee? That there's no one whole. So that doesn't match. Okay, the next model. This one's kind of messed up. They've got 3 different models, but there's pieces from different ones. I can honestly tell you, if you see a model like this, and it's all kind of broken up and they're all throughout different models, I would be very, very careful about it. If they're showing you a model like this, they're trying to trick you. They're trying to do something. They're trying to make you confused. Every model has 8 pieces still. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So my denominator is 8. I'm going to count all the shaded pieces that I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 out of 8. So this is the exact same as this, just spread apart. And like I told you, if you ever see a model like this, either as an answer choice or as part of a question, be very, very careful with it. They're trying to trick you. They're trying to confuse you or to mess you up. If you see it as an answer choice, I'm not saying that it will never be your answer, but I would be very careful about picking it. I would check my other answer choices very carefully before I picked an answer choice that looked like this, little bits of pieces spread apart. Because normally the way you would draw a fraction or a model of a fraction is you have to fill up one hole before you can go on to the next one. It's kind of like eating half of one candy bar and then just starting eating a new one. You would finish the first one first before you went on to the next. But either way, here's my fraction. There's the mixed number that they want. Who can tell me, does my fraction match my mixed number, the one I'm looking for? Chase, I see you shaking your head. What's wrong with it? Why don't they match? Doesn't have the 1. Let's check the next model. Now this one has 2 models, but it has some models filled in. Violet, how many models are shaded in for answer choice C? How many whole models did they shade in?
1.
1, okay. And what about the second model, Violet? Because the second model is not all the way shaded, right? Okay. How many pieces did they shade in? 5 out of how many?
8.
8. 1 and 5 out of 8. Violet, is that the mixed number we're looking for?
No.
No. What's wrong with it? There's a 5 instead of a 7. So that doesn't match. Okay. Last model. How many whole models did they shade in for answer choice D? Jaylene?
1.
Okay, there's 1 whole model. The second one isn't all the way shaded, right, Jaylene?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What fraction should I have for the second model? 7 out of 8. Jaylene, does that match what I'm looking for?
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. That's my match. So A and B were very close. They had the 7 out of 8. They were just missing that 1. C was close because it had the 1. It had the right denominator, but it had a 5 instead of the 7. So our answer should be answer choice D. Question 2. The model below is shaded to represent a fraction greater than 1. Okay, so we know it's more than 1. Which fraction is represented by the model? All right. If I look at all my answer choices, this time they don't want a mixed number like on question 1. They want an improper fraction. So to find the improper fraction, I need to count all of the shaded pieces that they give me. And then for my denominator, I need to tell them how many pieces make up one model. Now, like I've told you, honestly, I think that whenever we do fractions, whenever we work with fractions, your denominator is the most important part. If you can figure out what the denominator is, if you know what it is, then usually you can at least get rid of a couple of answers. So that's exactly where I'm going to start. Here are my models. What should my denominator be? What should the bottom number of my improper fraction be? Kaylee. 6. Beautiful. Every single one of these models is cut into 6 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my denominator is 6. Like I said, once I know my denominator, I can usually get rid of a few answer choices. Are there any answer choices that you see that I can get rid of? Jaylene, do you see one that I can get rid of?
Me?
Yeah.
You could get rid.
Okay, F. It has 24 as a denominator. That's not it. Who can tell me, are there any other answer choices that use the wrong denominator? Violet. there another one? Okay, J.
H.
Oh, you found two. J has the wrong denominator. H has the wrong denominator. So there's only one answer choice that I can choose. G. Questions like this are the reasons why I tell you guys denominator is the most important number in your fraction. There are so many problems that I've seen that once you know the denominator, you can get rid of usually at least one, sometimes two, and like we saw here, sometimes even three answer choices. The only math I had to do on this problem was counting how many pieces each model had. That was it. Okay, I'm going to flip the page, go to the next one, mixed numbers 4, page 2. And it says each of 3 boys wrote an equation. Brandon wrote 77 out of 12 equals 6 and 5 out of 12. Julian wrote 67 out of 9 equals 7 and 3 out of 9. Miguel wrote 58 out of 8 equals 7 and 4 out of 8. Which of these students wrote an equation that is true? So they're telling us that some of these boys might have wrote an equation that isn't correct. There's a mistake with it. Since they're asking for something that is true, what I'm going to do is next to my answer choices, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a T and an F for true and false. I'm going to put one next to every single answer choice. That way, once I find out if it's true or once I find out that it's false, I can circle those. And whichever one is the only answer choice that's true, that's the one I need to pick. Yesterday, I showed you 2 different ways to change from an improper fraction to a mixed number, or mixed number to improper fraction. Okay? So we were practicing changing improper fraction to mixed number. Today I'm going to show you how to go the other way. How to change from a mixed number to an improper fraction. Okay? To change from a mixed number to an improper fraction, here's what you're going to do. I'm going to start with the first one. I'm going to check Brandon's first. I'm going to put 6, 5 out of 12. When I write it, I'm going to leave a little space in between my whole number and my fraction, and you'll see why here. If you look at a map, or sometimes if you look at like the mail, when you get a piece of mail sent to your house or to your apartment, it tells you what city you live in, what apartment you live in, what street you live on, right? Usually, when you get a package or a letter through the mail, they don't write out the whole state. They don't write out Texas. Usually what they do is they use a short version. Instead of spelling out Texas, they put TX. What we're going to do right now, or what I'm going to show you, is something I call the Texas method. The reason why is because we use addition and multiplication. So it looks like TX. Akai, make sure we have our microphone off, sir, unless we're asking a question or answering one. So I call this the Texas method because we're going to use addition and multiplication. The reason why I left a space here is because this is where I'm going to put my addition and my multiplication. Since it's Texas, the T comes first. So the T, the plus sign, is going to go up on top. And the X, the multiplication sign, is going to go on the bottom. The X, Texas. Like I just said earlier, your denominator is the most important number, your fraction. So this is where I'm going to start. I'm going to start from the bottom and then go up to the top. So if I start from the bottom, 12 times 6. Who can tell me what is 12 times 6? Because I know we did our 6 song a few weeks back. What was 12 times 6? Kylie? Not 42. Who can help her out? What would it be? Jaylene? 6 times 12 or 12 times 6?
72.
72. So 12 times 6 is 72. So that brings us up halfway. 12 times 6, but now I have to go all the way to the top. Plus 5. So 72 plus 5. What is 72 plus 5? Chase? $77. So my new fraction, or what it should be 77. And like we said when we were working on the models before, my denominator does not change. So if my denominator was 12 before, it's going to be 12 again. 77 out of 12. If I take a look back at Brandon's equation, he wrote 77 out of 12 equals 6 and 5 out of 12. I just figured it out. Yeah, that's true. So I know that Brandon has to be telling the truth. I'm going to look really quickly, and I'm going to see if there's any answer choice that doesn't say Brandon. Is there an answer choice that doesn't have Brandon on it? Kylie, see one? Is there any answer? There we go. C. C doesn't have Brandon on it. So we know this is false. Because we just checked Brandon's, we know he's telling the truth. Or we know that he's correct anyway. I don't know if he's trying to lie. But that's all we know so far. Just Brandon. We haven't checked Julian and Miguel. So let's check Julian next. Julian, his mixed number was 7 and... oh, sorry. Let me leave some more room. 7 and 3 out of 9. I'm going to turn this into an improper fraction using that Texas method again. dx. And since my denominator is the most important, I'm going to start with my denominator. 9 times 7. We're doing our 9s this week. Who can tell me What is 9 times 7? Jadine?
63.
63. Okay, 63. That brings us halfway. Now we have to go all the way to the top. 63 plus 3. Who can tell me what is 63 plus 3? Alexa, what's 63 plus 3? $66. So my new numerator is 66. And again, my denominator is very important. It does not change. 66 over 9. Okay, let's see if Julian was right. 67 out of 9 equals 7 and 3 out of 9. We did not get 67. We got 66. So Julian doesn't have his numbers right. We know that Julian is wrong. Are there any answer choices that say Julian? If the answer choice says that Julian is right, then we know that we can get rid of that too. Christopher? B. Answer choice B says Julian. So we know that that's false. Yes, Noah?
There's another one.
There's another one? Okay. What's another one?
D.
Answer choice D also says Julian. So that's false. There's only one answer choice that can be true then. Answer choice A. Brandon only. Now, just because this is new for us, I want to make sure that we do this last one just as practice. And we'll see what Miguel should have. Because we know that, I guess Miguel was wrong. So let's do one more as practice. 7 and 4 out of 8. So we're going to use that Texas method again. CX. Since my denominator is the most important, that's where I start. 8 times 7. What is 8 times 7? Did our 8s last week. Bradley, what is 8 times 7? 56. Okay, that brings us halfway. Plus 4. Who can tell me what is 56 plus 4? Kylie, what would I get? 56 plus 4. 60. So my new numerator should be 60. And my denominator, because it's important, does not change. 60 out of 8. If I look at what Miguel wrote, he was also close, like Julian. But instead of 60 out of 8, he wrote 58 out of 8. So Miguel was also wrong.